The serve toss, almost like using the clams, flicking the wrist. Toss can go very often. Arm doesn't go all the way up. Overthrowing at the roots of your fingers, like a bird. Like you almost imagine it's kind of fixed. Let it go, releasing. You want to kind of get straight arm. This makes sense. Bam.
Hi everyone, my name is Milan from Serbia. I'm founder of TENFITMEN. I'm a professional tennis player and coach.
What's up guys? Welcome back to another TENFITMEN video. Today I'm gonna talk about the serve toss and I'm gonna share with you 5 most common problems and how to fix them. Let's get into it. Let's start with the first most common problem, and that is basically how you hold the ball. So I've seen this a lot. Players tend to hold it too tight, almost like using the clams. The fingertips are too tight here. Also, when they release the ball, it's kind of from fingertips. Therefore, it becomes very inconsistent, right? It's going all over the place. How to fix this? I like to use the analogy. There are 2 kinds. One, you imagine the tennis ball is an egg, a raw egg, all right? You don't want to squeeze it too tight. You got to be gentle, and you kind of want to keep it in your palm or at the roots of your fingers. I like to call this roots of your fingers. Another analogy is like a bird, like a little bird. You're holding it gently here and you want to kind of let it loose, let it go to fly, right? I just want to add, there's another way that you can think of it, and I've seen some pros are also doing this. You imagine you hold a glass of water, right? So actually your palm will be more sideways here, and then you just kind of release the ball. I've never used this technique, but you might try it. It might be suitable for you. So those 3 ways: holding the egg, or the little bird, you want to release it, or glass of water. Bam. The second mistake is related to the action of your tossing arm here. The mistake is that many players use too much of the forearm when they toss the ball. They do this kind of movement, or they use too much wrist. It's kind of like flicking the wrist. So it can be there like this, or just too much wrist. If it becomes too wristy, right, it's super inconsistent because the toss can go very often behind. Now, how to fix this? Focus on your toss should be from the shoulder joint. Straight arm, you almost imagine it's kind of fixed. Elbow is straight, wrist is relatively fixed. So from here, and then you just extend up fully here, right? From the shoulder, straight arm. For this third mistake, I had to place the camera a bit further away. Luckily, today I'm using the microphone, so I'm sure you can hear me well. I need a distance to demonstrate the next mistake because this is about overthrowing the ball. And it's not just about the height of the toss, it's the way players approach the toss. So they think they are actually throwing the ball. So they're like, boom, right? They're literally throwing the ball in the air and they put a lot of effort. That's a mistake. It's gonna be very difficult for you to control that toss if you're forcing it. How to fix it? I like to say that you're just not throwing the ball, you're just releasing it. There is not too much effort, very natural, and you want to use a little bit of your body, right? When you're tossing, you want to kind of get the body a little bit leaning forward, so it kind of helps. Boom, right? It's actually full body engaged, and then the arm is just going up and you release the ball. The most common mistake, number 4 for the toss, is what follows. Once you're in this position, the tossing arm goes down too early. So players maybe go all the way up, but then it goes too early down before even the racket starts going to drop, right? And then there's a disbalance, and after that you're also kind of dropping too early. Very common result is the net. And another thing here that happens often is that arm doesn't go all the way up, so it just stays here, and this is super common as well. Stops here, and then you don't have a full shoulder over shoulder tilt, right? So it stops, and then you're kind of here, not using full body rotation and the tilt, and it's not complete serve. How to fix it? You focus on holding this position, and you hold it until the racket starts getting into the drop, and then you kind of start dropping the tossing arm. So it should be like at the same time. Simultaneous drop, and then you are in balance, right? The way you can think about it is once you toss, kind of hold it, feel the stretch. Feel the stretch here, and also feel the tilt. And then catch that rhythm so that this makes sense. It's like a seesaw. It gives you the good momentum, and then you can explode up. Bam. Finally, the most common mistake, number 5 for the serve toss, is the placement of the toss. And this is usually a result of all the previous mistakes, because that's the most important thing here, to become consistent and to have a stable toss in the right position. So this is obviously, so the problem is if it goes, usually it goes on the side and then it kind of makes the player rotate too much. But the problem is we will be too open in this way and the ball will go behind because we are tossing this way. Before you toss, you should start the rotation here. So I'm gonna use a magical circle. So you stand relatively close to the wall.